Aloha, my beautiful friends on the other side of the screen or the microphone. My name is Krista Lakshmi-Dittan, coming to you from San Diego, California. I welcome you to this beautiful Abundance in Action podcast, where we all believe that each one of us has a beautiful treasure box inside. Once we open this treasure box, we can start to manifest our inner fairy tales into this reality on our terms. And I'm so excited about today's podcast because I have two very special people on the other side of the screen, Aura Mengel and Manu Aquila. Welcome.
Angela.
Aloha.
Aloha.
So what would you guys say for women or also men who feel that they struggle with it? Where should they start? Maybe 2 or 3 tips where they could start with that balancing of the masculine, feminine.
Well, I want to say there's something which is really important is, first of all, stop looking for someone and start to be good with yourself in a way. I had to travel a long time in the beginning looking for someone. It was in the beginning pleasure part, and when you're young, you play and you live your life. I had that. But there came a point where I said, I'm not satisfied anymore by looking at, finding my joy in other people. So this is where I started actually looking towards myself. And I was a very long time alone, very alone. And it was so sad and so bitter and so frustrating. But after a while, I was it's just you're going to die alone. Who's there with you? Even if somebody holds your hand, but at the end, you are, if you're not good with yourself, you're going to be your best friend yourself. I'm my best friend. I love her, but I'm my best friend. I'm the one that I have to give excuses for. I'm the one responsible for my life. Nobody else is responsible for my happiness. My father always used to say, don't look at the light, the sun out there. The sun is inside. And that is the sun. And I needed isolation a long time alone to realize I'm okay with myself and I don't need anybody to make me happy. And this is the truth. When I realized that, all the fake people stopped coming into my life. I had really problems to deal with them. A lot of people came to me and tried to, and I felt this problem is inside and it comes from the outside. It's all a mirror. But I overcame this and I was really good with myself. And out of the sudden, people came into my life. They were really interesting then, wow, because they were sovereign people who were also good with themselves. And there's a few, a handful of people in this world that I have such a strong connection, brother, sisterhood, where I say, oh. And this is more important than 1,000 people. Be good with yourself. Love yourself first. And if you have to be 10 years on a mountain, then you have to be 10 years on a mountain.
Yeah.
This is my first.
Yeah, I really love that. It has been my journey as well. More I turned inside, more I became friend with my inner world and who I am. Also accepting and acknowledging. I just recently realized how many things I haven't acknowledged about myself, which are talents or skills or abilities or capabilities. So that's so true. And what do you say, Aura, about that?
Absolutely. First, it's just stop looking at it. Looking for it from the outside. I've been, doing that a lot. It's I feel like I was a little bit also grew up conditioned, because my mom and dad got together and mom was young and happily married, 41 years and having 5 kids and So me as a small girl, it was took that one out automatically. Okay, this is how it is, and this is how my life is gonna be, basically. Taking it automatically, and also, of course, it's by the fairy tales, by the movies, by the books. It's even forced stronger this condition. And then, had my family, had the marriage, had the divorce, and all that. And then, just doing the same shit the different faces again and again, looking for something, like outside of myself. And then there's like at one point, it's just the realization. There's like the saying, I am enough. I am enough. But one important word is missing for me there. It's like, I alone am enough. And then I felt it like at one point, like I alone am enough, like for my children, for myself, for everything. I don't need anyone to fulfill it. And absolutely, to be good with oneself.
Yeah.
And with this, I know with the strong masculine, it has not been. It's not easy to be by my side as a masculine, because I push them stronger and stronger into the feminine at one point, because that's the thing. I, as a woman, cannot teach a man how to be a man. Men need men for that, and this is just a mission impossible. You will always fail in that, and so yeah.
She did that once. We had one moment on the Camino where she tried that, where there came a little weird. So
this is a good one, yeah.
She, it was busy, stressy day, kind of, and we had a really nice place. We always followed our intuition and met the right people. Went into this one albergue, and she started making drama because of something in the kitchen was going on, and I was like, like no drama, no, I don't need any drama. Like,
I'll tell the story from my side.
Better.
I'll tell it. It was a very hot hot day, and there was some things, and we were cooking, and I wasn't aware of it at that moment. I don't know how long we knew each other by then, and then like I said something like by the looks of it, like it wasn't nothing like big deal, just like saying something and provoking. I realized it was like provoking something, and then how I felt that Manu, as a male, against me, like in front of me, just stood his ground. Like, because I had the experience of always the male ones, like taking the step down. If I go fire-breathing dragon, they step like back and like, oh yeah, like, yeah, you're right, let's just leave here. And then the ego part, is like, like satisfied, but like a deep, like this primal feminine, it's disappointed. Yeah. And then I felt, like he stood his ground in love and respect, and then part of me felt like hurt, like, what is this, And then I went to the kitchen to cook, like, and to boil in my thing. And then when I realized, like, what was actually happening, and he stood his ground, because something deep within was just like, I had so much respect and awe. And I was like, wow, because I felt he was just there, like equal, and left the space for me to do, but not taking it personally. And I was like, and then I just went and had to say just like, I'm so sorry, and do you know what I realized? It was like so much insight what you just gave me, like I never felt this before with the masculine, like not getting aggressive, not getting offense.
There's and I know this nowadays, so I have to open up here if I can a moment. I know this from many women, even my own mother, even like basically a lot of women. I just not me as a man speaking about women, like how dare you are, but I know from a lot of women this behavior, and I used to in the past, like this condition, to do the stepping back, because you're not allowed to say your opinion anymore to a woman. You're not allowed, because it gets even confused with the children when the little boys start to play, and well, this is opinion now, but they hurt each other. When we play rough sometimes. So there's sometimes a punch there or whatever. We play in the dirt, but there come this new kind of psychology, and they say, they are violent and whatever. So this is like the man gets more and more disconnected from nature, from truth, where we come from. Like violence, excuse me? I have to make my point sometimes. Otherwise, we get all lost. We all get lost if I don't say because I'm the man who has to stand, and I'm building the house. So this is now my President Trump speak, because he's like that. He's like, I'm the man speaking up, blah, blah, blah. In a way, he's right, because if you don't, other men come or other people come and will push you, will test you, and they're like mosquitoes until you realize you have to stand your ground. And it is a terrible life if you don't do it. It is a terrible life if you don't take action and responsibility. It is horrifying to live with people who test you all the time. And people did that on my life, testing and pushing my boundaries until I finally got it. I have to stay my ground. And because she went the fire breathing dragon, I wrote her afterwards. We wrote a song called the Fire Breathing Dragon, because she was on fire, like and going on. It's like, this is what we need. And when we cannot have sometimes these fights, and when we cannot actually full on, then we're living just halfway. So we need these battles or whatever sometimes to keep us alive. But we don't get confused and make a drama out of it. We are at that point, like, we made each other sure that we don't need each other. So we could always step away from each other, and I'm good with myself and you're good with yourself. So it stays salty, spicy. This is not that like, now we are good together and whatever. And so I don't speak you anymore, something. No. We stay who we are. And that was keeps the thing alive and spicy.
That's the thing. Like the freedom that comes with it. Like I'm not taking responsibility for Manu's reactions or what I might trigger. He's not taking responsibility for what he might trigger so it's like I take responsibility for me. He takes the responsibility for himself, and it's just the freedom between us, around us. It's just there, the space. And he also I was so amazed the way he can just hold the space also on the moments when I break down when I cry, when I'm just so low point. He does not start finding solutions for me, all that stuff that would just irritate me even more. He just holds the space, sometimes in silence, and just holds the space and just is there with me without trying to fix me or to find solutions. And that's so important, and not many people can do it, both male or female.
Yeah, we are used to try to change the other person or to help the other person. If somebody comes to me and tries to change me or try to help me out of this, and this is so much hypocrisy in it. I see you have a problem and I'm allergic to that kind of people.
Let's do something else.
Yeah. So we find a way to let each other free. And I said to her just the other day, 2 days ago, my greatest wish is all I want is actually that you are free, and also free with me. That, because when we live here on Earth, which is a blink of an eye, it passes by. It's done. But what I realized, what is most my special, my most what is the name? The most we spoke about that before. There wasn't the questions. The most important thing for me in life, I say it like this, is making soul connections. Because I believe this is a soul journey, and we go on, and our souls are for eternal. Speaking about eternal life, I believe I'm a spiritual person in that way. I believe a lot. 90% of my life, I'm in the ocean. And my soul is satisfied to know when there are other souls where I have this connection. This is more worth than money, more worth than everything. It's just knowing that you are there, but I don't need to claim you. I don't need to have you. You are there, and the more free you are, the more. This is like wildlife, keeping the wildlife alive. Don't go in the forest and hunting the animals because you want their fur, because No, let it be wild, and then everything is. It's so so much more intense. Everything, the energy. We speak about sexual tantric energy. Everything gets intense and spicy when you let the other person be wild, and don't try to tame it. If somebody tries to tame me, you know what happened. I have to show them my real face, and I don't like it because I can get angry also. I can get also whatever, but no, I say don't try to tame me. And she never, like we have here this form of respect with each other, and yeah.
I have never had the need to control or tame anyone, and at the same time, I cannot be obtained or
You love me
controlled
wild.
either.
I love you when you're wild. There comes the most interesting things.
Yeah. And I really loved what you just shared about the masculine being there and holding space. In Estonia, I saw as I started to bring in these different tantra teachers many years ago, I saw the need of especially the Estonian woman just to be held. And one of the events I organized was like the whole day I prepared the woman for that final 2 hours or something where I kind of put the blinders on, and then I invited my Tantra men friends into the room. So every woman had one man who was taking care of her, giving compliments, touching softly. And then the final point was where the men were just leaning against the wall, and then the woman just could like let themselves just rest on the man's chest. And I'd say every woman who was in that position, and some men as well, they started to cry. And all these women later, when they opened their eyes, they said, Krista, I've never ever been felt to be held, and like that, you know, the rest of the world disappears. Like that was amazing. And I can only imagine what would happen to the world when most men would learn from a man like you, Manu, or others who are in that position to share how to do that. You know, what would happen to the world? What do you guys think?
Absolutely. For the for the if the space is held, you can just let go as a woman, even especially when there's like this strong masculine side, and just to be. And also for the men, not to feel the responsibility to fix the situation, to find solutions, because it's not theirs to fix.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful when she knows her part and I know my part, and there's nothing to add anymore. When just everybody does what he's supposed to do, not trying to. And I know, like, this is not my business. There are sometimes things where I think it's my business because from the past conditioning, I have to take care of this and this and this and this. So there comes the Mr. Nice Guy and everything. There comes the trying to help everyone pattern. There comes all those things. No, stop that. Just be yourself. And if I don't want to listen, like sometimes there are those moments, and she knows, like we have this invisible connection where like we feel it, and it's absolutely perfect. We can even be grumpy together.
Yes.
And we love it.
Yeah, that's a normal thing to be, like part of life, right?
Yeah. Just one of those days sometimes.
Yeah. So let's now dive into following your heart and your path. I have been so deeply interested in this topic for so many years. I have opened up many of the areas and treasures inside of my own treasure box. Like some years ago, I had no idea I had anything to do or any ability to do anything in the water. I happened to be in the right place, right time in Hawaii, and went through a water therapy class and became a water therapist afterwards, and developed my own water modality I call Wantra today, so bringing water and Tantra together. and then realizing that you can actually help people to go through water fear while they're on my hands, and we do different moves and figure out where these things are blocked. So you both have had so many experiments, you have done so many different things. What would you say to people, and maybe share some story which is relevant right now to people who right now, still also because of the corona, right now here in United States, we are back on lockdown. So it's like on off. It's very like uncertain times. People are so much more in the fear. They have lost their jobs. They have no idea like what's next. And of course, the automatic first step is maybe, can I grab something? Can I have some secure job to pay my bills and so on? Both of you have stepped out of that completely and stepped on that path of heart. What would you say to those people? And maybe there is a relevant story to connect to that when people are listening and watching us today.
When this lockdown hit Estonia this spring, I was in the middle of the busiest month work-wise. I had full-on schedule with yoga classes, like up to 60 classes per that month, and then it was just like gone in a moment, and nothing was gonna happen until God knows when. And in that moment, I was just like, yeah, I had no choice but to trust. And then I was in the calm in the midst of all of it. And what I felt was that some things are, yes, taken away, but at the same time, if you stay centered, you stay calm in that situation, it opens the doors that were not there before. And if you stay calm and focused and grounded, this is like a treasure box that you can use, because it's not going to be there after. It wasn't there before, but just to notice the gifts that come with it. Because with every crisis, the one that see those opportunities, they profit from it, and not financially. I don't mean like definitely like financially, but there's like these gifts that come with all of this crazy situation. But to stay calm and not in fear, to notice them and then take action.
I have a friend who is right now on the Camino and sent me a message with a sentence. The sentence is, once you are ready to lose it all, you will live forever. So all is breaking apart, the whole world, and it happens anyway. So also the awareness of the only thing that is sure in life, you get born, you live, and you die. So it's part of life that we die, and we should actually have a better awareness with that and deal with that in a mentally stable and health base, to speak about somebody is dead and we have to die. Like, people are not like, we are kind of in a egg shell, like kept away from those topics and being busy with mainstream and blah 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 and makeup and sugar and fitness studio, like unnecessary stuff. When we go back to the roots and what do you need to live, to survive, and I lived a long time basically only in nature. You can make it. People in the past, our ancestors, also in Estonia, I love it here, this old Viking spirit which is here. The people lived like that. So maybe it's time to go back there in a way, to step back instead of looking for solutions in the here. Because I think the world makes no progress. We make regress because we destroy the earth. We are not making good things anymore. It's too much. We don't care of each other anymore. We don't feel what's happening. So we make regress also with technology and everything. We have telepathic gifts. I can say when I was in Australia, just that was clear for me when I spoke with Uncle Louis, which is Aborigine elder of the Banjaran tribe in New South Wales. And he showed me clearly that he could read my mind. He reads my mind. And I ask questions here in my mind, and he answers me by words. And for those people, this is normal, this is standard. Like the gurus, the babas in India, in the caves, they know those, it's absolutely normal. So we are really far away from there where we're supposed to be. And this crisis is the opportunity to go back into your cave and meditate, like become who you are supposed to be. And getting away from this money and everything, it's okay. But God does not give a shit about those things when there are other things more necessary. God wants you to change you in a way that maybe you have to live sometimes without money, because this is what makes you rich in the heart, what gives you faith, what gives you knowledge. What is more important than the body is soul. And this is where we're going now. And people have to be ready for that. And this is why people like you, Aura, me, we are prepared for the last 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know. We are prepared for that, to actually now step up, taking our roles as leaders, as people who guide the people who don't know how to swim in that ocean now. So we have to take them and show them how to swim, or we are the boat.
I want to say about what I feel, what is going on right now. It's the time of change and challenge, and all the fears, all the deepest fears come to the surface. There's like no way out of it. Like everyone's unnecessary burden, detachment, unnecessary obligations, fears. This is what we are right now. This is where the focus needs to be, to dive within the solutions and just to go really deep within, and despite the fear, find the courage. Courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is taking the next step despite the fear. Kind of fear is peeing in your pants, and courage is doing what is needed with the wet pants. And right now it's really just letting go of the detachments, obligations, fear that no longer serve both our body and our spirit. And the more we are in fear, the more it will come to the surface, and it's so uncomfortable, and it will push us outside the comfort. But there are treasures from all of it.
It's time to let go. It's time to let go of things which we know already, since our ancestors knew it, we know it. We have to let go of those things anyway. And this awareness has to come now, and it's coming, and it's good. So
it's kind of like we all want the change. We want the different systems that would actually serve us. But now it's like, oh my God, but if the systems are gonna crash, I'd rather be here, because at least I know it. Because what's the alternative? The unknown. But I think this is a leap of faith we need to take, to let go and have faith. Have the car running on faith, not in the safety and the comfort.
It almost feels like Mother Earth has kicked us all on the invisible Camino de Santiago. And beyond, even people who had no intention, and like you before, going there, Aura, you said it's not the time. And now universe is like, guys, these things are really out of balance. Time to wake up. Okay, here we go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
In your seatbelt.
Yeah, and I think the difference is also, whether you now really wake up and it's like, okay, it's no point to resist that, it doesn't get me anywhere. The change is here. I have to wake up. I have to see what I can do for me and my family to take care, and then, create from that point of view. So really, and adapt quickly to the new, whatever it is. I just recently did a podcast with Timo Porval, who helped to set together this beautiful program they did in Estonia. For 1 month, they worked to have this 3 or 4 days international online virtual summit about business, how to get businesses going again. And Jack Canfield said, we are not going to new normal, we are going to new better. So I really like that. Yeah. So we have to figure out what that is. And I think both of you have given us lots of thoughts and impulses now to really look deep inside and figure out what our value systems are, what needs to change. And also, as you, Manu, said, this is the time for people to also step up to become the role models and help people or lead people who are really lost. And this is absolutely the time. So if you have been like shy until now, this is the time to step up.
And also too, I have to say one more time, to let go, even if you have to let go of family members. When the calling is calling you and people are holding you back, you will be able to cut the line. If not, you get stuck in the old world, and this is not where you're supposed to be. So you got to be able to cut the line. This is where, again, masculine, feminine, where the masculine comes and like, I'm going to take you now, bring you on the boat, but you got to let go of things. If not, you stay in the old world, and chances come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, but there's a point where like, I knocked on your door 1,000 times, still you don't open. So, but God is good. I realized that. And there's one thing I have to say, like, I had a story where I was in Australia. I started just making street music. I started basking, had no money. Like, I lived that scenario of apocalypse already years ago. I prepared myself well. I had no money. I wanted to live my life. Like, I wanted to live my dream, making music and being free. I didn't want to do those things anymore. I just wanted to be me. But the cost or the price of freedom, some people don't know what's the price of freedom actually. You risk everything. So I went all in. I gave all my, like, I had no more job and everything. I started to make music and I could live with it at $5 a day. Sometimes could eat beans and toast. I had a camp in the jungle and sleeping with snakes and not know if you get robbed in the night because some people are crazy, you don't know. So 6-7 months doing this, I got tired and I gave a prayer. There's a sentence in the Bible that says, ask and you shall receive. And when I had a deep down and I started to actually believe more and more in something higher and started to connect with this God. They are just names, with the universe, whatever. I started to ask and I started to pray and miracles started to happen. I asked on that one day I was walking on the street with my backpack, heavy, sun, and I closed my eyes and I gave a prayer. I say, you know, up there, I'm going a hard way, try to follow my heart, but the whole world is kind of, everything is against me. Everything seems to be against me. It's hard and I'm tired. I'm here in the desert. I need your help. I need a car, like one of those hippie vans, you know, people have sleeping in cars. I was like, I just need a car. But I had no money, no bank, like nothing, no savings. I was like rock bottom. And I said, but you know, if everything is possible for you, why not a car then? This is what faith is. You're going to believe in things happening. If not happening in the small things, but also in the big things. So I said, I need a car. And it was so stupid, the thought even of it, like a little child asking them, I need a car just for free, you know? It's like, come on. But when I gave those wish, it went out of me. I felt it, and I opened my eyes and there was a sign, a flyer that said, love. Just like a huge love. And in that moment I smiled, it's like, And I felt, well, anyway, in the night, 4 or 5 hours later, I was sitting outside somewhere there, charging my mobile phone on the dark street, ready to go to bed somewhere in the jungle. A guy, he came by, a friend actually, always walking barefoot, super spiritual guy. And how you doing? It's like, yeah, fine, like always, how you doing? It's like, I'm going to India in 2 days, have my flight ticket booked, got a little backpack and a little money, and he wants to have a spiritual journey, not taking anything, like getting rid of all material stuff. Ah, okay, nice. Yeah, and I have things to give. I want to give everything away, and I still have a car also I want to give to somebody. And say, hold on. And he looked at me like, and I was like, that moment, I even that there was like a vision inside, everything, my whole world. I was like, At that moment, I saw, wow, because I said, just a few hours ago, I'm on a point in my life like you cannot compare it. Like I'm on the street and I ask God for a car, of the universe, and you come now just on the same day and you say you give a car away for free. On the next day, I had my keys, I had my car, and I did not ask things anymore. Like if it works or does not work, I asked for things. I asked for a flight ticket once, and I got a flight ticket. Somebody was like, "Well, you're really asking like a flight ticket? You're just asking." I like how you ask, and he gave me money for a flight ticket, and I got it with everything. I was sick. I needed healing. I went in the forest. I prayed. A few hours later, somebody came, and he said, "It's like, do you have problems on the hips?" I said, "Like, how do you know?" Like, I was sent to you. Like just a random stranger person comes up to me and puts the hand on me and healed me. Afterwards, I prayed. So listen, we are this. We have this gift. Like we don't need to. We are no slaves anymore. We are free, with knowledge, with our power. We can do what we want, and we're supposed to ask for things, whatever we need. But not always like comes the sugar way. No? Sometimes things come to challenge you also.
Sometimes there's a time delay. 5-6 hours.
Yeah. But that's how it works.
And it's really cool that you touched that, because I want to start to wrap this thing up. And as the title is Abundance in Action, I think you already kind of answered it. So in order to put the abundance in action, the first step is you have to ask, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But one thing in this asking and receiving part, many of us are so good at asking and even holding on to the thing, when the plant is starting and already got out. But sometimes it happens so fast, so unexpected, and like, well, here I am, opportunity or person or whatever it is, and then it's just the receiving part. It's often that it is like, no, not yet. I'm not ready yet, or I'm not enough yet. Like, and we close the door. It's like, oh no, this is too fast. Many of us just cannot receive yet.
And the other thing, there's a universal law. Some would call it karma or whatever. But if I'm so lucky that life gives me what I need when I ask for it. Like this is something I have to honor. This is something I'm grateful for and like I'm thankful for. Like I don't push it out and like, hey, go and ask for something. It doesn't work like that. Because when I had afterwards, I moved on from that town and I saw a guy in my situation and I was like, man, I gave him the keys, I gave him the car because God told me, give him this car. I felt it. And many other things where I felt like sometimes I had to give my guitar to somebody because the spirit inside was like, give this to this person.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward and give, like, if you ask me or if somebody asks me, this is how it works actually. You ask me for something that I'm actually a brother and I should give it to you because you asked. This is how life works. When I give it, then life will also give me what I want. So this is how the circle works. But if you are holding back your savings and like you just want like luxury and doesn't work like that. You also be grateful and you give what you have when you ask for.
Circle flowing.
Yes.
Like receiving and giving it.
Yeah.
It has two-way street always.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. So Manu, I want to ask to wrap it really up here. Now you have been visiting Estonia, I understand maybe several times.
Second time.
Yeah. So what's your impression? How have you experienced Estonia or Estonians? I mean, you can't really generalize, but what's your experience?
I actually like it because I'm right now in a process of where I need time for myself, for my like writing, like introverted stuff, where I could not do this in Spain or in South America, where you're like full on, like people, everybody talking and you all the time on the road. People are here very like quiet, like it's silence. There's a lot of people don't talk so much. You go on the street, you have your privacy. So I like it, but people are not disconnected. It's just the other form of respect. There's no lack and whatever. I always, when I came back to Germany, after I was in South America, which is really like full blooming, like everybody's dancing on the street and you don't get away without having a hug or a kiss or a conversation with someone. So I came back to Germany and I hated this. I hated this feeling being with the Germans, sitting in a train or something, and nobody looks at each other and this robotic lifestyle. But I have to say also, when you're overloaded with so much, like to come to South America and so much people and everything, sometimes you need a quiet place just for yourself to rest. Also, when you go to supermarket, and people here are really like, I like it. They're like calm. That's what I need. Polite. There's not so much.
Nordic politeness.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Is there something you would like to say to finalize this? Something very important you want to still mediate?
Keep calm, like in the situation where they just keep calm and look within.
Yeah. And for everyone who's actually on the journey, good luck. Because it's a long journey and I know it's hard. But if you endure till the end, you will be saved. But life is changing you, changing us. And we got to be strong now and got to hold on to what we have and stay keeping on breathing, not letting ourselves too down, but also for all the people who think your happiness and all luck and everything comes with a smile on the face, get the bullshit away. Like, be real in your life and stop blaming others for your life. Speak out your truth and make what you want. Like, you have just a little time. It's this little time, like a sand clock, and tomorrow is next day. You don't know if you have tomorrow. So live for the moment, live now, and do what you love. And that's all. Everything else comes on the journey. But you gotta be straight with things. You don't make any more like compromisings and whatever, like here and there. Cut the lines to people, to toxic people that you feel like it's enough. Then it's enough. Then get away from those situations, those places. Maybe even from your hometown if you don't feel good anymore. Like you live in America also. Like I could not live in my home place anymore. Those people there for me are absolutely, they don't resonate with me. This is why I'm traveling. I love to be here with people who like, finally we have a understanding, like, because sometimes when you are in a place where people know you and you make a change, the people will not accept your change. So this is what don't be stupid on the journey. Don't fool yourself and make you believe things that doesn't work. So breaking the illusions, it's not easy and you gotta cry and you have pain, but you better do it now because it hits you anyway. And you better be prepared. There's a nice saying, I think it was a Zen master, whatever, I read it. You better be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So what you want, but yeah. Don't cheat yourself. Don't betray yourself. Stay loyal to yourself. And especially to your roots. Don't be happy if you're not happy. Don't say you're fine if you're not fine. Don't give hand to somebody if you don't like to give hand. And don't do things that you would regret afterwards. And you rather be someone people hate, but you love yourself, even if the whole world hates you. But it's better to have yourself, because I lost myself for the world. this is not good. You will deal a very long time with regrets that you did things, you betrayed yourself. Be yourself, and then everything comes. No matter what other people think of it. This is what I can say. And most important thing. And there's always help from above. Never forget that. When you need something, ask for it, or like it comes by itself, but not by fake prayers like blah blah blah. No, by real heart connection, and you always get what you need.
I want to add one thing. It's with this, yes, taking responsibility and stepping into your own power. And with this one, I feel like being on my path, it's just like, I feel like, although I have like this, of course, also like these worldly obligations, like even by having a family and the kids and attachments, but whether I'm in a relationship or not, a relationship with my sister or my kids or with friends or work-wise, in every situation, my what's the word? My loyalty belongs to myself always first, whenever it is, and not in an egoistic way, because self-care is not selfish. But staying grounded and within wherever the journey takes.
Yeah. So now you guys seem so dancing and co-creating. So if people like watch this and say like, I would like to go and take a course with Aura and Manu, when is the first course?
As soon as there's a people gathering up, probably.
Asking service.
Yeah. So now people who are interested to take contact with you, what's the best way to contact you?
Writing.
Facebook, probably.
Facebook. Okay. So we put the links below the video and the show notes so they can find that. And we also agreed to do this beautiful gift. What's the gift you guys giving to our listeners and viewers?
Yes, because music is this thing that we share. We had our first baby yesterday. We gave birth yesterday. There's many more kittens coming, but we got the first one down yesterday. And we recorded our song from last year's Camino, and we put it up today, and you are the first one, Crystal, that we sent the link to, and to share it with all the listeners today for taking the time and being with us. And we would really like to share one song from the last year that we wrote. This is my life.
This is my life, this moment in time, the ups and downs, the depths and the heights, and only I know where lies my truth. Take it away with advice I never ask, and only I feel what calls my heart. Don't project the limitations on me. This is my life, too precious to waste on someone else's hopes and dreams. This is my life, I'm not gonna let someone else take the captaincy. Sail the oceans with a wind of faith, breeze of freedom, waves of hope. Bring me far out
Muchas gracias.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice. So thank you, Manu and Aura, for sharing your story, how beautifully the divine masculine and feminine can meet sometimes in the middle of nowhere and start to co-create and help the divine feminine come out and expand, and divine masculine get even more grounded, so that in that co-creation the world can get and become a better place to be. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your gifts, and all the listeners and viewers who are here, thank you also. And please help us all to like, share, and subscribe to this beautiful journey with abundance in action. So thank you so much. Mahalo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So far, please check out the special gift. Thank you for watching and listening. Until the next time, mahalo.